Welcome back into another big story of the day. In a massive development, all of the convicts in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case have been released. The Supreme Court has ordered the release of all the 6 convicts today, including S. Nalini. The top court noted that they are being released prematurely because of their satisfactory conduct. Remember, in May this year, Perarivalan, another killer, had been released. CNN News18's Zaka Jacob had also spoken exclusively to Nalini. She had thanked her lawyers, the court, and said that they have already spent 32 years in jail. The Congress also has reacted to this entire ruling in Karti Chidambaram. Many other leaders have said that personally the Gandhis may have forgiven the killers. Meanwhile, we've also had the likes of Abhishek Manu Singhvi, who held a press conference, put out the official version of the Congress party and said that they oppose this decision that has come from the Supreme Court of India. Remember, the Supreme Court had used its extraordinary powers to release Perarivalan because the governor, despite the recommendation of the state government, had not taken a call for years. And the Supreme Court said this is an extraordinary situation. Getting you all the voices on this top story. All right, now the killers of Rajiv Gandhi have been set free. This is mere politics or the amnesty that the court has decided to take. That's the key question. Now, the killers of Rajiv Gandhi have been freed. What is the basis of this release? What are the key questions that the Supreme Court has considered? And in the learned of the opinion of the Supreme Court, what exactly are the grounds? As I said earlier, Article 142 is about the extraordinary powers of the Supreme Court of India, under which they can do justice. And that is why, under this provision, they had decided to release Perarivalan and said, because the governor did not take a call in due time, they are using this power. As I said, extraordinary powers of the Supreme Court to do justice in situations where they need to. Due process in many situations is done away with for the simple reason that procedural, limitations do not stop the Supreme Court. Also, this is a long incarceration, and an order to release was something that was pending for a while. The state government had already made a recommendation. Despite the recommendation, the call was not taken by the governor, and that was the key reason that the Supreme Court decided to intervene into the matter. Based on that order of Perarivalan, there are other orders that have been passed today, and the court said that if that one person, if that one convict in the case can get relief under 142, others can also do that. Now, the recommendation of the elected government is binding on the governor. That's what the Supreme Court has said, and if there is an undue delay, the court is going to interfere. What is also rather interesting is that in this entire matter, the union government had also intervened, and the union government had also said that in matters concerning where a central agency is involved, it is the union government that has the power. Now, the Supreme Court dismissed the central argument on the president's power. As I earlier said, it was said that president, whenever there's a central agency, it's actually the president which has the power. That argument was rejected. Now, as I said earlier, we're getting you all the big voices. Our managing editor, Zaka Jacob, spoke exclusively to Nalini, who gets the big relief today after the Supreme Court order. Listen in to this exclusive conversation.
கடந்த ஒரு 30 வருஷ காலமா உங்களை தீவிரவாதின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. இந்த கொலை கேஸ்ல முக்கிய அக்யூஸ்ட் அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. இத பத்தி என்ன சொல்லுவீங்க நீங்க?
நான் செய்யாத கொலைன்றதுனால எனக்கு என்னோட மனசாட்சி எப்பவுமே கிளியரா தான் இருந்திருக்கு. இது நாள் வரைக்கும் நான் அந்த கொலை செய்யலன்றது, அதுல 17 பேருக்கும் எனக்கும் என்னங்க இருக்கு, என்ன மோட்டிவ் இருக்கு எனக்கு, நீங்களே சொல்லுங்க பாப்போம். யாரையும் கொலை செய்யணும்ன்ற அவசியம் எனக்கு இல்லவே இல்லை. நான் நல்லா படிச்சிருக்கிறேன், எனக்கு கை கால்லாம் இருக்குது, நல்லா வேலை செய்யறதுக்கான எல்லா விதமான தகுதியும் எனக்கு இருக்கு. அப்படி இருக்குச்சு நான் எதுக்கு ஒரு கொலையை செய்யணும்? அப்படின்னு தான் நான் எப்பவுமே நினைப்பேன். அது மட்டும் இல்லாம அந்த மாதிரியான நினைப்புல தான் நான் வந்து இன்னைக்கு வரைக்கும் உயிரோட இருந்தேன். நான் யார் வேணா என்ன சொல்லிட்டு போட்டேன் நான் ஒரு கொலகாரி. நான் உண்மையா சொல்றேன், என் மனசாட்சி இன்னைக்கு வரைக்கும் கிளியரா இருக்குது. நான் நிஜமாவே சொல்றேன், அதை நினைச்சாதான் என்னால தூங்கவே முடியும்.
நீங்க வந்து சிறைச்சாலையில் இருந்தப்போ காந்தி குடும்பத்தினர் ராகுல் காந்தி, பிரியங்கா காந்தி இவங்க வந்து உங்களை பார்த்தாங்க. அவங்க கூட என்ன என்ன பேச்சுவார்த்தை நடந்தது? அவங்க கிட்ட என்ன சொல்ல விரும்புவீங்க இன்னைக்கு?
இன்னைக்கா அவங்க கிட்ட நான் உண்மையை தாங்க சொன்னேன். அதே மாதிரி இன்னைக்கு வந்து உண்மை ஜெயிச்சிருக்கு. அதுதான்
அவங்க வந்து உங்களை மன்னிக்க,
அவங்களெல்லாம் ஹர்ட் பண்ணணும்ன்றோ அவங்களெல்லாம் பாதிக்க வைக்கணும்னோ என்னோட மனசுல ஒரு நாள் ஒரு துளி கூட எண்ணம் கிடையாதுங்க.
Well, two sides to the debate, that these are people who were convicted for the assassination of India's former Prime Minister. So is an amnesty really due to them? The state government made a recommendation that's binding on the governor. The government did not take a call, and hence the Supreme Court intervened. The Congress party officially, as I said, has taken a position that the view of the Supreme Court is not welcome. They do not agree with the release. Abhishek Manu Singhvi held that press conference. Joining us on the broadcast is Sulaiman Mohammad Khan, who is the Congress spokesperson and also an advocate at the Supreme Court of India. We also have Mr. T.K. Salangovan, who is the DMK spokesperson and former Rajya Sabha MP. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Khan, the Gandhis personally have forgiven the killers. That's the position, a humane, empathetic position that the family took. Why does the Congress party think otherwise officially?
Look, Rajiv Gandhi was father to Mr. Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, and husband to Sonia Gandhi. But Rajiv Gandhi was also the Prime Minister of the country. He was loved by crores and crores and crores of people. Even opposition parties have, shown great respect and love for him. His assassination has left almost a vacuum in the leadership of the country, and along with him 14 other people died. Rahul Gandhi ji and Priyanka Gandhi ji and Sonia Gandhi ji would have forgiven the assassins, showing a very big heart. I think the people of the country have not forgiven him, and it is not a matter which is completely in the domain of the family. It is a matter of the country. Crores and crores of people have lost their leader, a very loved leader, a very generous leader, a very compassionate leader.
You do have a very pertinent point there, Mr. Khan, that as a family, as a wife, as a son, as a daughter, you might want to forgive someone to move on and to find your own peace. But he was the Prime Minister of the country. He was a leader. And that's the question that I have for you, Mr. Alan Govan. Is it fair? Okay, Mr. Khan, finish your point, then I'll go to the DMK spokesperson. Finish your point.
Therefore, we are saying that the judgment of the Supreme Court is incorrect, erroneous, and it is against the spirit of the nation and feelings of crores and crores of people. That is it.
All right, Mr. Alan Govan, the family might have taken a personal position, but considering that this was an attack on India's top leader, considering that this directly involved the internal security and national security of the country, should a political partisan position really be taken on an issue like this? Why did the state government or various other political parties in the state of Tamil Nadu have historically supported their release? Today, this recommendation, in fact, was made by the government. What are the grounds on which this recommendation was made by the government?
No. The question is that they were punished. They were given sentences according to the amount of crime, their involvement in the crime. So some were put to death, some were given life sentence. The question now is humanitarian, that's all. We are not supporting them. But somebody who was given a life imprisonment is in prison for 30 years, losing all their prime days of life. Now still keeping them in prison. That is why we wanted. It is a humanitarian ground, that's all. We didn't say that they are innocent. We are not supporting them. But they have been punished and they have undergone the punishment. But the punishment is extended to 32 years now, 31 years now. So we thought that since they have gone on, were punished and given a punishment and they have undergone imprisonment, now they can be left. That's all.
But why this mercy? Why this mercy for them? Why this mercy for them? Why shouldn't they stay inside the jail for all their life?
No. See, it is a period. See, they were given punishment according to their participation. What they did, somebody, P Ravichandran got a battery without knowing to whom he is giving, for the what purpose he is giving. Like that, these innocent people were involved in the crime, but they were punished. Even though they were innocent of the fact, they were innocent of what is going to happen, but they were still punished. And the punishment is now 30 years. That is the only reason.
Are you saying, I know that Nalini and various others, Mr. Alan Govan, have said that they're innocent, they've not done anything wrong. But you as the spokesperson, are you reiterating this position that these convicts are actually innocent?
It is a decision of the court.
Exactly.
The court has stated that they have committed, or in part they are related to the crime.
Yeah.
We have nothing to do with it. It was investigated by the central agency, and the case had gone and the court had given them punishment.
Mr. Khan,
we cannot defend them.
And I ask this to you, Mr. Khan, I ask this to you as a student of law. Were there legal grounds to set them free? Had they completed the sentence?
First of all, how were they innocent? They have been convicted by the trial court. Their conviction
being
upheld by
that.
the High
He
Court
clarified that.
to the Supreme Court.
That. Yeah.
Only their quantum of sentence has been altered by the Supreme Court. From death penalty, their conviction sentence has been converted into life sentence. As far as the legal position in cases like this of premature release, I can say there are three most important points which needs to be seen.
Sure.
One, the antecedents of the convict. Two, his conduct in jail. Third, if he is being released, what was the position of the law and order outside? So, whatever decision a state governments take, generally, they keep all these 3 points legally in their consideration. That is the antecedents, their conduct in the jail, and third is what will happen if they are being released. I am not totally on this, what report the Tamil Nadu government has given. I am saying it is an emotional issue. It is against the spirit of the country. What the other person who was speaking on the panel is saying, that they were innocent, have lost their youth of 30 years or 20 years for past 30 years. We have lost the Prime Minister. He was the leader for future. He would have led us for next 20-25 years. He would have taken our country to great heights. We lost because of this brutal and heart-wrenching crime he has committed.
Sir, I take your argument. But Mr. Khan, my question to you was, were there legal grounds to set them free? I reiterate that.
I again say that in cases of premature release, 3 grounds have to be seen. Antecedents, that is there any other FIR against the convict? Second, what is his or her conduct in jail? And third, if he or she is released, what will be the effect on the society outside where he or she is living?
On these 3 parameters, did these convicts fit?
I have not read the file completely. Neither I have seen the report, nor I was the inquiry officer. Neither I was the DM.
So how can you have the opinion one way or the other if you have not seen those?
I'm sorry?
Then how can you have an opinion one way or the other, whether they should be released or they should not be released if you have not seen the file? If I were to just go back to your own argument, sir. Most humbly. All right, I think there's a problem with that connection. Mr. Alan Govan, in the meanwhile, I'll come to you and take in a view from you. The argument that the Congress party is making is that sentiments of the entire nation were involved in a case like this. Even if there are set parameters and set grounds under which the state can decide on a matter like this was an extraordinary case where the national security and the kind of message which is being put out should have been of utmost importance. Were these critical issues put on the sidelines for political gains, perhaps?
No, there is no, we don't think of political gains in this matter. We were the most affected party. We had lost our state administration. We lost the elections. We could get only 1 seat in the state legislative assembly immediately after that, because it is a great loss. And our houses, the DMK houses were broken, stones were thrown and beaten up, and our party newspaper Morosuli was burned. The office of the Morosuli office was burned. So the entire anger of the people was against us, as if we did this. But we were not. We don't know what had happened. But their action had affected the DMK most.
But Mr. Alangovan, one can't deny the fact that there were various domestic political factors in the state of Tamil Nadu that had forced the regional parties in many ways out of political compulsions to take a stand, which may or may not be conducive to the overall argument of sending the right message in the interest of national security. That's an argument you cannot ignore or cannot.
I don't ignore.
Yeah.
I am not ignoring. National security is the foremost. But they were given punishment according to their involvement in that major crime. Right. Some say that we were innocently caught by these people.
Well, as you said, Mr. Alangovan, that a sentence was confirmed, their conviction was confirmed, they were assassins of Mr. Rajiv Gandhi. That's the stated position. Mr. Alangovan and Mr. Sulaiman Muhammad Khan, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on the broadcast. That's all the time I have, sir. I apologize, I'm not able to give you time to respond. But a very critical order coming in from the Supreme Court, not without its share of controversy and debate. But all the convicts have been set free. With that, it's a wrap. But here's an interesting bit. If you've gone for a safari in an open-sided vehicle, you probably know what the risks are. And here's a new video which has gone viral on the internet today. The video is shot by a tourist from a safari car when suddenly a lioness jumps inside the vehicle. And what happened next will shock you. We'll leave you to find out more. Thanks for watching. Have a